Some people will tell you that it's impossible to win on slot machines. Other people, however, do win. You may have won occasionally, and you may even be ahead overall. Some people, presumably based on their own personal success, will give advice about the best strategies to win. So what's the truth? Like most things, the answer is a little bit complicated. In using a typical slot machine, you can bet varying amounts, called the bet size. In addition, you can also choose to spread your bets over a number of lines. Thus, in a typical slot, you can choose to bet only bet size and the number of lines to bet. Bet size determines if you want to win or potentially lose a little or a lot. When you select the number of lines, however, you are determining how likely it is that you're going to win. When you bet more lines, for example, the maximum number of lines possible, it's more likely that one of the winning combinations on the next spin will produce a combination that you have actually bet on. People who play slot machines say that there is a dumb way to play. This dumb way is to choose one line of play rather than betting on all lines. This virtually assures that if a potentially winning combination appears on the next spin, you will most likely miss out on a payment because you have not selected that combination as one of the lines of payout. Usually, if you bet on one line, the payout will only occur if the winning combination of symbols appears along the center line. This happens very rarely. Consequently, as the thinking goes, it's better to spread your bets across multiple lines. One of the problems with this logic, however, is the fact that betting on multiple lines causes you to spread small bets across a number of possibilities. When these payouts occur, the winning amounts are likely to be very small, and much smaller than if you had bet all money on the center line. Thus, you're not affecting the overall likelihood of winning, but only the frequency of winning. When you bet on one line, you'll win rarely, but when you do win, you'll win a lot. So should you bet on one line, several lines, or all lines? This all depends on the type of entertainment experience you want. In the long term, statistical view of returns simply doesn't matter. You can win small amounts often or large amounts infrequently. Either way, you're betting and risking the same amount of money. Of course, if you choose to high bet sizes, regardless of how many lines you choose, you'll either win larger amounts in a betting session or potentially lose larger amounts because you're risking more money. In short, despite intuition to the contrary, you can't alter the odds of winning on a slot machine by changing either the bet size or the number of lines across which you place your bets. There is no dumb way to play a slot machine. A natural consequence of this logic, however, is that there is also not a smart way to play. For most machines, strategy is completely irrelevant to winning or losing. This is why people seem to have beginner's luck on a slot machine. An amateur is just as good a chance of winning as someone who's experienced in using the games. There are important exceptions, however, that warrant talking about. First, there are less common so-called skill-based gambling machines. These are only approved for use in limited places, including, for example, Nevada and New Jersey. These games inject some skill-based elements in play, such as a video game mechanics, into betting on slot machines. In some of these games, playing well might slightly increase the odds of winning, and by extension, playing poorly might lessen the probability of winning. However, it's important to note that these games are still constructed to operate within a narrow range of payouts. That is, regardless of your level of skill, the games are still mostly influenced by chance. A skilled player over a long period of time is still likely to lose money, more likely to lose money than win money. Second, there are popular games where you bet on reels rather than lines. These games always pay off when the symbols oriented on any line appear in the first few reels, usually the first 3 reels. Irrespective of the details of operation, however, these games operate according to the same principles we've already discussed. You can change whether you win a small amount often or larger amounts less often. However, the long-term chances of winning on these games is the same. If strategy isn't needed on slot machines, why do some people seem to always win? Well, the answer lies in our often inaccurate perceptions of probabilities. In a close to fair game, for instance, most people expect that wins and losses will soon cancel each other out. However, having a long sequence of wins is not as unlikely as intuition would suggest. Academics often say, chance is surprisingly lumpy. Of course, the same can be said of losses. People expect that the lot should change, but often it doesn't, at least not fast enough to keep them solvent. What's the best way to play slot machines? Well, the answer is surprisingly simple. Play however you want. You can play the way that provides you with most enjoyment from the game because it's only a game, it's entertainment. There's no good or bad way to play. Bet on one line or bet on all lines, the chances of winning are the same. Just be aware that when you bet big, you're likely to spend more, at least with time. Thank you for watching.